It Comes at Night came in the year 2017 and is a polarizing film. Literally, critics adore it and think it's a really great suspenseful thriller horror film. Audiences, not so much. In fact, they kind of hate this film. Where do I fall on this film? Well, let's talk about it. Welcome back to my first annual Halloween special, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, for the entire month of October, I'm going to be reviewing some horror films, some thriller films, just some films I like to watch around the holiday season. I've already discussed Sleepy Hollow, Coraline, and Poltergeist. You guys can check those on a playlist. And now we're talking about It Comes at Night. And if you've not seen the film, I would highly recommend if you have not seen it. But before you watch it, do not watch any of the marketing. It will completely sour your experience. Go into this film as completely blind as you can. You've been warned. I'll be talking completely spoilers in this film. Like Sleepy Hollow and like Poltergeist, I've not seen this film. I recently just watched it tonight, actually, and I've only seen the film once. So I know this might be polarizing to a lot of people and shocking, like, you need to see this film twice or three times. I will. I'm super curious to go back to this film, but I wanted to give you guys my immediate reaction. I didn't want to just sit on this film for a couple weeks and then give you guys my review. I wanted to give you guys my full-out opinion coming out of the film and just completely processing it. Alright, do I think this is a terrible film? I don't. In fact, I think it's a really great film. It's not perfect, guys. Do not expect a perfect film, because it's not. People who love this film and think it's a great, perfect film, more power to you. People who think it's a really bad film, I can understand where you've come from. If you watch the trailers and then go into this film with all these expectations about, oh, what's in the woods, what actually comes at night, you'll be pretty disappointed with this film, because the film doesn't give you an answer. What is in the woods? It's up to your imagination. In fact, there's no creatures. In fact, all the horrifying horror elements come in a dream sequence by the character Travis. That's all the crazy, horrific stuff. And normally in horror films or distant films in general, when all the crazy stuff happens in a dream sequence, normally I'm very mad, because that really got me pumped up and really excited for what it was going to be. But oh crap, it's a dream sequence. But I feel like It Comes at Night did it so well and so interesting and build tension so well and so detailed that I feel like it can become a pass. But if you're expecting a creature feature, you're not going to get that. This is basically a character study. In fact, it is a character study about a family and how they deal with this situation, and how when these new people come in and want food, they take them on in, and stuff hits the fan, practically. The performances here are excellent. Joel Edgerton is perfect as the father character. This is definitely the best performance I've seen of him. He's gives a really rich and really real performance here, and I thought he was great. The rest of the cast is really stellar. Nobody did a terrible job. Travis, the actor that plays Travis, gets a lot of screen time, and I thought he was really great here and really had a sense to him that I thought was really good and had a really strong presence. The direction here and the way the film looks is gorgeous. This is a gorgeously filmed shot. There are so many long sequences that just linger on these sequences just in one big long take, and it doesn't feel gimmicky. It feels really real and really rich, and there's a lot of sequences that are just one big take, and it seeps you into this world. This is such a fascinating world, and it's such an interesting world. It is very today's standards of 2020. Wear a mask, wash your hands, that kind of stuff, what's in the air. But this film isn't a movie that tries to preach to you. It tells its story, and it tells it in the best possible way I could. We'll get to the problems with this film later on in the video. The film has a realistic, brutal sense to it, and not because the film is quite violent. Yeah, there's some pretty disturbing images and some pretty brutal sequences, but it just feels real, and it feels, by the end of the film, I was on the edge of my seat, really. and this film keeps you on the edge of your seat from the opening sequence, which is, by the way, extremely disturbing and sets the tone for this film excellently, to the very last shot of the film. It puts you in a sense that really engages you from beginning to end, and it blew my mind. The music in this film is extremely minor. There's barely any music in this film, but when there is, the score creeps up to you and builds and builds and builds. Is the film scary? I wouldn't say it's scary, but it builds tension perfectly. There's so many sequences where I was just like, wow, this is really well done and really, really creepy stuff at times. Scary? No. Really, really thrilling and on the edge of your seat? Absolutely. Do not expect a horror film. Expect a mystery thriller, I think, is the best way this film can be described. The pacing is also extremely well. This is an extremely tight film. It's really, really short as well. It's an hour and 31 minutes, but every single shot, every single frame felt warranted. The family dynamic I thought was rich and really unique, and I love the way this family had to adapt to this situation. It's all fantastic. So it looks great. The scares and thrills are made perfectly. It's gritty. The performances are great. It's masterfully directed. What is the problem with this film? I'm not a person who likes the film to be 100% explained to me. And maybe the more I see it, the more I'll unravel a lot of things. But I felt if this film would have explained just a little bit, just a little taste to get my brain moving, I think that would have been a lot. The film explains nothing, which can be a detriment. There's a lot of sequences that are confusing. They give you a lot of weird imagery. And I'm not expecting it's kind of an exposition dump sequence. I hate when films do that. But it comes at night, there's barely any explaining. And in a way, this is a flaw. In a way, this is a con. I hate when movies spoon feed you, that's a hard word to say, spoon feed you exposition and just shoving it down your throats. I love when a film lets an audience think. It doesn't play an audience like they're stupid. I love when a film does that. But this film doesn't really do it at all. It doesn't give you just little nuggets of the film. And I felt the ending to be a bit disappointing. The inspiration, this movie is dark, it's brutal. Travis's death, I thought, was really, the entire family is death, and by the end of the film, I was gut to the knees. I wish it explained a lot more, and I wish the film, I feel like it needed to be a tad bit longer to really dive in. I wish they would have explained the hallucinations just a little bit. But guys, I cannot suggest It Comes at Night enough. I thought it was a really great film and one of the best thriller films of the last decade. I'll give It Comes at Night an A-. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and another edition of my first Halloween annual special. What do you guys think of this film? I'll let you know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? How do you fall on this side? I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. If you guys like this video, then hit the like button and subscribe and hit the post notification bell so you guys know when I upload another video. You can check out my podcast I do every other Tuesday with a friend of mine. It's called the Movie View Podcast. And you guys can check out my Instagram at GeneralScoreDaniel77. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. General out.